The third area I wanted to refer to is ageing. I don't have the view that the ageing of the population is a terminal illness for the country. That's not my view. The cohort of our population that is moving through our population, and has been since the Second World War, has driven our economic growth over their entire lifetimes. And guess what? They still can. They don't have to stop doing that. They can continue to do that. The intergenerational report will come out through the Treasurer in the near future. And I think one of our important responses to that as a community, as a society, is to see that this can be an ageing boom, not an ageing bust for the country. This can be a real era of opportunity, and we should see it in those terms and be optimistic about it. Encouraging Australians to stay and work longer as they grow older, healthier. As the population ages, you can see more people living to age 85 and over. You can see that spike, which is the baby boomers moving through the system. When you match that with the next chart, yes, those who have to pay for things will become importantly alarmed, because as you get to 85, you really are starting to crank up where the system starts to support. Now, that's just a reality. These are the facts that we have to deal with. So the issue is, how do we empower people as they age to maintain as much of their purchasing and consumer spending capacity as possible for longer? That is what can really help continue to drive the economic growth out of this most important cohort of Australians, as it has for decades. There are two areas I would suggest that we need to look at. Obviously, labour force participation and encouraging people as they grow older to work longer. And we have measures that are in before the Senate which have been rejected by the opposition, even though that when they were in government we supported measures that looked at raising the pension age. They have now, in their, I won't say wisdom because I'd be lying, but they are now opposing those sorts of changes. But when you look at female labour force participation in particular for women as they age, what you can see there is a real opportunity. You can see there in the charts, in the green line and the blue line, that female workforce participation in those two cohorts of under 60s and 60 to 64 years has been rising steadily now, and very strongly. But you can see the line on the bottom there of 65 plus years being quite flat. Now, the same women who are going to work when they're 62, we need to encourage to stay and work when they're 67 and 68 and 69. Not out of any sense of compulsion necessarily, but because it's good for their family. It's good for their income. It's good for their support. The pension is not a lavish payment. We all know that. I'm sure everyone would wish that it was higher, but we know the budget limitations on that. One of the ways you can supplement and support and increase your income in older years is to work longer. And if you're healthy and happy in your work, then please keep going. That's what we'd like you to do. It's good for you, it's good for your family, it's good for the country, and every Christmas the grandchildren will be stoked. Absolutely stoked. So I would encourage you, even for your grandchildren and that happy smile on that wonderful morning, to work those few extra years.